You can be seated. Stay away the clock.
We do.
Stay away the clock.
Yes, sir.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll welcome back and we'll get right back to work.
We call Ken Cookson.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the evidence you're about to give in the hearing of this call is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Sir, go ahead and state your full name for the record.
My name is Kenneth Raymond Cookson,
And where are you employed?
AT&T Mobility.
Okay, and you are employed here in Knoxville with AT&T?
Yes.
And are you the keeper of records for records of AT&T?
Yes.
And what types of records does AT&T keep with regard to its services?
Call records for both mobility and wireline service.
Okay, and did you receive a subpoena ducis tecum for the call records of Riley Gaul and Max Siegel, AT&T subscribers?
Yes.
And did you provide a copy of those records for the court?
Yes.
May I approach?
Sir.
What I'm handing you has been marked for identification, exhibit number 44. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
What is that?
That's the call records provided by AT&T and my initials.
Okay. And you've looked on the CD, and that contains both records of Riley Gaul and Max Siegel?
Yes.
We move that in as exhibit 44. Mr. Cookson, the records of AT&T come in UTC time.
Yes.
What is UTC time?
Universal Central Timer. It's the time standard.
Okay.
And to get to a local time for Eastern, you would subtract 5 after daylight savings time for prior.
And in 2016, so the weekend of November 18th, 19th, 20th, 21, we would subtract 5 hours from all the record times in all the records here to get to Eastern time?
Yes.
Okay. Pass the witness.
Can I withdraw that exhibit, Judge?
King.
Now, can you switch that over to me, please? Permission to sit down, Judge, while I examine this witness out.
Sure.
So, Mr. Is it Cookson?
Yes, sir.
This is exhibit 44 that we're talking about here, and you can see the 2 file folders here, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so here are all the different records that are in that particular folder under Riley Gaul, is that correct?
Yes.
And you're generally familiar with all this. You've not examined all these, and I understand that, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so the largest folder that we have here is this one that's 33,937 kilobytes. Is that fair?
Yes.
All right, and so how many pages are in this particular record?
Looks like 707.
Okay. And the first one's against when?
On 10/1 of 2016 at 15:02:50.
So if I type in page 133 here, we go down to page 133. Do you agree with that? Is it that same page as 133?
Yes.
And if I can, direct your attention to the 100 or the 200 call right here.
Yes.
Is this number 200 right here?
Yes.
Okay. And what time was that call made?
11/19/16, and it would be minus 5 hours from 15:35, so roughly 10:35.
Okay. And then I noticed that that call, well, this is the originating number here, 865. Read that if you don't care. Can you see that okay? I need to zoom in a little more.
No, I can see it fine. 1-865-356-7273.
And what number is that call going to?
1-865-712-6246.
All right. And then I noticed over here it's got a cell location, correct?
Yes.
Are you familiar with the fact that AT&T reverses their latitude and longitude?
Yes, that's pretty well standard in most software that we use.
Okay, and so this actually would be longitude right here, this negative 83.96116.
Yes,
And this number here, 36.0077, that would be latitude.
yes, sir.
Apologize, Mr. Cookson, I didn't realize you were going to be first this morning. I thought we were going to start with somebody else.
Commissioner, unplug this just for a second, see if I can get connected a different way, maybe. Permission to unplug this just a second, see if I can connect this a little bit, see if I can find a better connection here. I apologize. All right, so we're looking at a map you agree with me for all the there to say. We're looking at a map, sir. You see that?
Yes, sir.
And so if we take this number here, this 36.0077, we copy it. And we take this negative 83.96116. We copy it, we plug it into our map here. That should give us that cell phone tower location.
Yes.
Mr. Cookson, do you see this red?
Yes.
And that's near a road spelled Fennell Road.
Yes.
And it's near a location, Dragonfly Aerial Art Studio, correct?
Yes.
So now we're looking at an aerial view of this area, is that a fair statement?
Yes.
I apologize. Let's just do this. It's been slow, so,
We can make this number exhibit 45.
Just a-
I'm showing you what's been marked as exhibit 45. Is that consistent with what we're seeing up on the screen?
You were looking at 1 and 200.
Yes, sir. If you just circle line 200. And then,
I think it's actually line 2000, Judge.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 2,000. If you could underline the latitude and longitude we've been talking about, please. And for the record, you're putting latitude under 36.0077, longitude negative 83.964. Thank you. We move it in 45.
No, yeah.
Judge, that's the only question I have for him. Let me,
Are you through with?
yes, I am, Judge, that's all I have.
Any regret? You can step down, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Judge, I'm giving this Christie Exhibit 44.
Call Andrew Stanley. Walk.
Please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the evidence about you give in hearing this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I do. Please have a seat.
Go ahead and state your full name for the record.
Andrew Walker Stanley.
And what do you go by, Mr. Stanley?
Walker.
Okay, and where are you from?
Eastman, Georgia.
And where do you go to school?
Maryville College.
What year are you in?
I'm in my sophomore year.
And do you play on the football team?
No longer. I
Okay.
did.
Why is it that you don't play on the football team?
Hip injuries.
Okay. You had to have surgery for that?
Talking about it in June.
Okay. When did you start at Maryville College?
August 10th of 2016. Yeah.
Okay. And was that when you reported for school or when you reported for football?
Football.
Okay. And what position do you play on the football team?
I played center and forward.
Okay. A lineman.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Lineman.
And where were you assigned dorm-wise?
Gamble Hall.
Is that where most freshmen are assigned?
That's where most football players are signed, freshman football players.
Okay. And describe for us, what room number were you in?
411.
Is that an individual room or is it a suite of rooms?
It's just an individual room with 2 beds.
Okay. And who was your assigned roommate?
Probably Gaul.
Is he here in the courtroom?
He is.
Point him out for the judge and the jury, if you would. Record reflect he's pointing to and identifying the defendant, Riley Gaul.
Record so reflect.
So you first met Riley Gaul in August of 2016,
Yes, sir.
and so you knew him for about 3 months. And during that time frame, obviously, Riley played a different position than you on the team,
Correct.
and so you guys kind of practice in different areas when you go to practice.
Correct.
And so, in terms of social groups in the football team, do you kind of cling together in terms of
Yeah,
both types of positions?
As far as positions go, we cling together. We were in totally different groups.
Okay. So what group was he with?
Mainly the receivers.
Okay. And so that's who he hung with socially in cafeteria and all those types of things.
Skinny people.
Skinny people. Okay. And you hung with the linemen.
Big guys.
Yes. Okay. All right. So the lineman hung with the lineman, and so as far as socially, in terms of your position, that kind of went against the fact that you were going to establish a relationship or any close relationship with Mr. Gaul.
Correct.
Okay. But over time, tell us about Mr. Gaul's habits as far as staying there in the room. Did he stay every night?
He was not there very much.
Okay.
He was usually out somewhere with his friends.
All right. And as far as spending the night there, actually sleeping there, how often would that happen?
For the first month or so, it was pretty regular, but after that, he didn't stay there very much at all.
Do you know where he was hanging out? What dorm he was hanging out at?
I know that he went to Max Eagles a lot.
Okay.
That's about it.
Did you talk with the defendant a lot?
We talked a few times, not very much at all, actually.
Okay. So did you get to know him at all?
Kind of, not very much. I didn't know much about his personal life.
Okay. Did he know much about yours?
No.
At some point, though, do you become concerned about his health as the semester progresses?
I mean, I could tell. I'm pretty good at reading people, so I could tell he just wasn't in a good place in his life. So I could tell that he was having problems.
Okay. How about his weight? Did you notice anything about his weight?
He was losing a lot of weight.
Okay. And you were able to see that?
I was able to do that, yes.
Did you become aware at some point during your being roommates with him, that he had a girlfriend back at home?
I did.
And back at home being here in Knoxville? And did there come any occasions where she actually came to Maryville College?
I saw her 2 or 3 times. They came and stayed for like 10 minutes and just left.
Okay, so you met Emma Walker?
I did.
And you think maybe 2 or 3 times over the 3 months that you knew him? Okay. And what did you know, if anything, about their relationship?
I just knew they were in a relationship.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
When you said that you thought that he was in a bad place, or is that the word used, a bad place? Did you know what the reason was?
I did not know the reason, but I was told that he had broken up with his girlfriend. I
Judge, I'll object to what he was told. Move the trial.
And I'm going to turn your attention, if I could. You became aware at some point that Emma Walker had passed, right?
Correct.
Okay, and was that news on the team, obviously?
It was straight from Riley's mouth.
Okay. And that's probably a pretty startling event that his girlfriend died, right?
Right.
All right, I'm going to turn your attention, if I could, to that weekend. You are from Georgia, you said?
Correct.
And so was your plan, what was your plan over the Georgia Thanksgiving holiday? Were you going to stay here, or were you going back to Georgia?
I was going home.
Okay. Did you still have classes, though, in the short week before Thanksgiving?
I had 1 class that Monday.
Okay, so you had to stay here for just that one class the weekend before? All right. Let me ask you, on the Friday before the Thanksgiving week, did you see Riley Gaul any that day?
I saw him about 2:30 that day.
Okay, and who was he with?
His mother.
And what were they doing?
They went up to the room. I was in the lobby of the building,
Okay,
getting ready to leave.
did they discuss anything with you?
Nope. It was, hey, how you doing? And then that was it.
Okay, and you knew it was his mom from when they moved
I
in? and-
had met her move-in day.
Okay. And fast forward from Friday at 2:30, when's the next time you actually lay eyes on Riley Gaul that weekend?
Monday morning at 4:45
a.m.?
a.m.
Okay. And were you there at the dorm pretty much the whole weekend, or tell us about that, your comings and goings that weekend?
Well, Friday, my younger brother was still in high school, so they had a game around Atlanta. So I went to the game in Atlanta, and then picked him up after the game and stayed in the hotel that night.
This is your little brother?
This is my little brother.
Is he littler than you?
No, he is not. We picked him up, and it was me and him, and we drove back Saturday morning and hung around campus. I was not in the room very much, but I hung around campus.
Okay. And so you're just kind of showing your little brother around?
Yes, sir.
All right. And so you stay there in the room Saturday night?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what was the sleeping arrangements there in the dorm when your brother was there?
There was an air mattress on the floor.
Okay.
He got that. I wouldn't get him on my bed.
Okay. And so your little brother's on the mattress. You said, do you have any communication, though, that weekend with Mr. Gaul at all?
No, sir.
Okay. Let me turn your attention then to Sunday night. You and your brother, again, are you there in the room?
Yes, sir.
And what time do you guys call it a night? Sunday night?
We went back to the room about 12 o'clock, and then we hung around in the lobby until about 2.
And you've already told the jury you hadn't seen Mr. Gaul since you saw him with his mother Friday afternoon?
At 2:30, correct.
Okay. And eventually you said you go to bed at probably 2 on Sunday night? Okay. And are you awoken by anything during the night?
At 4:45, Riley came in, and that woke me up.
Okay. Why did it wake you up?
It was loud.
Okay.
My brother's air mattress was on the floor. He hit the air mattress coming in and was kind of knocking on it.
So your brother's blocking the door?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And was this unusual for Riley to show up at 4:45 in the morning?
Not really. He showed up late a lot in the mornings,
Okay.
and he would come in and get his stuff and then go back wherever he was.
Okay. What conversation, if any, did you have with the defendant at 4:45 a.m. that night?
I just asked him, hey, what you been up to? And he said he'd been out. That was it.
Okay.
And then he asked if I could help him wake up for his 8 a.m.
Okay.
I set an alarm for him.
Just to be very clear, Riley Gaul didn't show up at the dorm at 11 the night before, right?
I did not show up to the dorm until 12, but as far as I had heard, and as far as I knew, he was not there. I never saw him.
Okay. Did you ever see him, or were you ever on YouTube on your mattress that night, watching YouTube videos?
I mean, my brother might have been, I wasn't.
Okay. And does he explain to you where he's been when he arrives?
He just said he'd been out.
Okay. And what does he do?
He goes to sleep.
Without any more conversation, just goes to sleep?
He just asked me to set an alarm for him and help him make sure he didn't miss his class.
Okay. And what's the next thing you remember from that, after 4:45, what's the next thing that happens?
My alarm goes off at 7:30. I told him, hey man, you're going to miss your class.
To who?
To Riley.
Okay.
And he was like, it'll be okay. So I said, all right, that's not my problem.
What time was your class?
8 o'clock.
What time was his class?
Presume 8 o'clock.
Okay.
He wanted me to wake him up at 7:30.
Okay.
So then I woke up a little late, about 7:55, 8 o'clock, and he had locked himself out of the room. He'd been in the bathroom.
The bathroom's not in your room?
No, sir, we have a community bathroom on the floor.
Okay, so when you leave your room, does the door automatically shut in your dorm?
It does,
And so if you don't have your keys on you, you're sunk?
pretty much, or unless you leave it unlocked. I think he just forgot to unlock it.
Okay. And so when you got, at 7:55, you get up, you said he had locked himself out?
Yeah.
Okay, tell us about that and what he said.
I let him in, and he told me that they had found him hurt. Or that they had found him hurt, yeah.
Okay. And how did you respond to that?
I just asked him if he was okay and if he needed any help. Walked him out to his car on the floor of my class.
Okay.
And I think his mom was coming to pick him up, or somebody.
That's what he told you? His mother was picking him up? Okay. Is that the last time you saw Riley?
It is.
Okay. Except for here, obviously. You were contacted by the police at some point in this case?
I believe that Monday night.
Okay. Where were you when you were contacted by the police?
That night I was in my home in Georgia.
Okay. But what in particular were you doing? Something in particular? The Thanksgiving weekend or holiday?
Well, the next day I was contacted while on the deer stand.
Okay. So you're a hunter?
I'm a hunter, yes.
All right. You're a gun owner as well?
Very many.
Okay. Tell the members of the jury how many guns you own, Mr. Walker, or Mr. Stanley.
Among my family and my grandfather, we own near about 120.
Okay. And so you were raised hunting
Yes, sir.
and fishing,
Of course.
and with regard to your guns, you take care of your guns?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so you know how to tear them down and clean them and all those things? And would you have any reason, so you know how to get smudges and fingerprints and oil? How do you do that?
All you gotta do is wipe it down.
Okay.
Just take care of it.
And clean it with solvent and gun oil?
Correct.
And you know how to do that?
Yes, sir.
Would you have any reason to ask anybody how to do that?
Yes, sir. I know how to do it, so I have no reason to ask.
Have you ever asked Riley Gaul
I have not.
how to remove smudges, fingerprints, or dirt from a gun?
I have not.
Any reason he'd say that?
I mean, he never asked me, but I mean, I can think of a few reasons he'd say it.
Okay. With regard to contact with Riley Gaul, did you receive a Snapchat from Riley Gaul after you were contacted by the police?
I did.
And what did Riley Gaul request you to do in that Snapchat?
To not talk to the police.
Pass the witness.
Just a moment, John.
Andrew Walker Stanley, correct? Go by Walker. Apologize. So, you had met Emma a couple of times, correct?
Yes, sir.
And your phone number in November 2016 would have been 5083, ending 5083.
Correct.
Is that the same number you have now?
Correct.
And it's 478-231-5083.
Correct.
Okay. And you had some text communications with Emma?
Incorrect.
Okay. If I can approach the witness.
Very well.
You show a report from Emma Walker's phone.
I do recall that actually, yes, sir.
And it's what we're looking at on the wall, the same thing that you have in your hand, sir.
It is.
And so you did have a few text communications with Emma Walker.
I guess so, yes, sir.
Do you disagree with that report?
No, sir. I don't necessarily recollect it, but I spent a lot of time with JoJo. That's one of my friends.
I see.
So that's why I say that.
Okay. And on September 25th, 2016, you sent Emma a text that says, Riley's in the room with me.
That's what it says.
And then on November 13th, 2016, you got a text from Emma saying, is Riley in the room?
That's what it says, yes, sir.
And what's the time of that text?
9:51 p.m.
Okay. And then at 11:13, on 11/13/2016, a couple of minutes later, about a couple of minutes later, you send her a text saying, I don't know, I'm in JoJo's room.
Correct.
And your phone number there, 1-478-231-5083.
Yes, sir.
Can you get one of those, if you could just write Walker Stanley on that report somewhere, please. Now, we're going to move this in as Exhibit 46.
Any objection?
No.
Very well, let's be received.
Now, as I understand from your testimony, you never asked Riley how to get fingerprints off of the gun.
Correct.
And as I understand from your examination from Mr. Allen, Mr. Gaul never asked you to get fingerprints off the gun.
Correct.
And Riley barely stayed in your all's room.
Barely. Yes, sir.
Riley helped you some with your math homework, I think, a couple of times.
Yes, sir.
And there were times when you would see Riley, he would be FaceTiming Emma.
Correct.
And do you have an iPhone?
I do not.
Okay, you know what FaceTime is?
Yes, sir.
What is FaceTime?
It's just, it's where you can call somebody, but it's also a video stream, so you can see them at the same time.
Do you use a Droid?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there a similar app on Droids that, similar to FaceTime?
I guess you can call somebody on Snapchat.
And FaceTime would be an app on the phone.
Yes, sir.
You testified that when you let Riley back in the room on that Monday morning, that you knew that Ashley, or that you knew that his mother was coming to get him?
I did not leave him in the room. I left him by his car. Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm sorry. So you left him by his car?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you knew at that time his mother was coming to get him?
That's what I've been told.
And you had left before Ashley got there?
Yes, sir.
And is that something that Riley had told you, that Ashley was on her way to get him?
He told me his mom was going to get him.
So you believe that he had talked to his mother prior to you letting him back into the room?
I presume so, yes.
That just makes logical sense, right? I mean,
Yes, sir.
okay. That's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Stanley.
Are you ready?
Yeah, Your Honor.
You can step down.
Yes, Judge, that's it for civilian witnesses. Next is police and crime scene.
All right, here's the matter of court has been set up outside your presence, and now you will please go to the court office. You can be seated. Do you want to do this through the witnesses going to introduce them, or how do you want to proceed with this?
That's his motion in limine, Judge. I don't know. His motion in limine, he's filed objections to nearly every set of photographs the state's intended.
Judge, I went back and reviewed that particular motion and those photographs, and I think probably the concern that I had as it relates to and I'm sorry to sit down, Judge, I was trying to find something, as it relates to the same photographs at the Walker residence, the Emma Walker residence. And I have, I think my concern is not something that I can actually convert into a successful objection as it relates to the cumulative objection, but I think there are different vantage points of that room that I think that they want to show. So I think on that particular one, that I would have to withdraw that particular objection. So what I'm trying to find, Judge, is the last proof set. There's been a couple of proof sets that the state has provided. So I can just get that.
I emailed it to you.
And I'm pulling that even, I'm sorry. That's what I was trying to do. And so, Judge, I think it may be that I can just work off this proof set and we can do it that way. That's okay.
One way or the other, I've got to see it picture. I've got to hear your objection, and I've got to know why you want to introduce it.
Yes, Judge. So the first set of photographs here that we're seeing on the screen are the same photographs that I had objected to, Judge. And quite frankly, I think I'm going to withdraw that objection. My concern was there were multiple photographs of Emma in the bed. And so, but I understand the nature of that. They had to show the cumulative nature of that. My concern with photographs 210 and 211 were they were the same photographs, 214 and 210. This is spent shell casing that was found at the side of the house, Judge. And so our objection to these two photographs is they basically show the same things. I understand that. Is that correct? Or is this a different?
No, it's 210 and 211 are reference to exhibit to placard 1. 214 is reference to placard 2.
Okay. All right. So that clears up, I think, that objection, Judge. And then what is 217?
Placard 3.
There were two casings. One was an intact round, the other was a spent casing.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
That's right.
So that's not contradictory, right?
And Judge, our objection to all these different photographs was, now we're looking at 125, 128, 178, 179, 180, and 184, that it would be cumulative to, if they're going to introduce these action exhibits into evidence, it would photographs would be cumulative to that, so that was our objection on that.
And our response is that it shows the magazine in the condition that it was recovered. There's only 2 live rounds in the magazine. Mr. Walker testified that he'd keep between 8 and 10, so we think the jury needs to see its condition as it was recovered.
Which picture shows that there's only 2 rounds in the magazine?
I don't know if I can get, it starts losing resolution, Judge, on the proof check, but I can
Yeah.
try to.
Is it one on the left there at the bottom?
Here.
The other
Both of those 2. You can see the top round obviously in the top of the magazine, and then you can see through the hole you can see another round in there, and the third hole you can see all the way through. So it's got 2 live rounds in the magazine, and they're hollow points.
All right, we'll pick the 184 shows that it has the indentation and it makes it hollow. I would allow 3 of the pictures on the bottom,
Sorry.
and certainly the picture of the gun as a whole. Do you need those other 2 pictures?
It shows a serial number showing it's the same gun that we're talking about, Judge, and the side of the magazine.
We'll allow that.
Do you need, it's the court rule on 178, Judge.
One
This one here, this one,
was the 8.
yeah, it's this one right here.
I don't know.
What's that one?
What's the objection to it?
This is cumulative to the other one.
120.
We're going to be spending literally seconds on these photographs, Judge. It's not going to be anything that's going to be a significant amount of time. We're going to have the officer going through the photographs, just explaining this is the side view of the magazine to show it's an intact, functional magazine.
I'll allow the pictures of the gun.
Judge, here are photographs, and I think this is 275, 276, 278, 285, 289, 291, 293. And Judge, I want to pay particular attention to 289. And our objection to 278 is it would be cumulative to the other photographs that the court's already looked at regarding